Thank you. Thank you guys for joining me for another quick three-pound pick a card titled How Are Return to Senders Affecting Those Who Started Spiritual Warfare with You? Now, a lot of us have been led to believe that we deserve spiritual warfare. And, I'm not going to say that we deserve spiritual warfare. Spiritual warfare is meant for us to discover who we truly are. That's the beauty of it. But those who would like to use spiritual warfare in order to trap people with them, well, they do a lot to hide the fact that they don't know how to properly love people. Anyone who has done spell work to trap you into a relationship or who's done fertility sex magic on you or who has, tried to do any type of spiritual work against you in order to have you in their life long term, even though it won't be best for both people or the children that come from you. Well, these guys are receiving return to senders. Now, of course, spiritual warfare, as I stated, is meant to help us grow and evolve. I mean, honestly, spiritual warfare can actually be the recipe for success. If you have a business, understanding the ins and outs of spiritual warfare you're experiencing in a practical, logical manner can allow you to actually make your dreams come true. So this is why spiritual warfare shapes us. But return to senders aren't meant to destroy people. They're meant for people to understand how karma works. Now, without further ado, let's find out exactly how these return to senders are affecting those who started spiritual warfare with you. There's three pals, and I'll see what your pal or pals of choice. I did do a community message because I really just wanted to get into this reading. Something tells me it's going to be very enlightening and also help us have a different perspective on spiritual warfare as a whole. I'll see what your pal or pals of choice. Welcome, pal one. So, I guess I'll start off your guys' pal with this beautiful quote that was inspired by something inspirational on YouTube. And I know I needed this. When a negative thought enters my mind, I think three positive ones. I train myself to flip the script on negative thought patterns. So the fact that I felt led to read that, and we are talking about return to senders and spiritual warfare. I haven't got to the cards yet, but I'm feeling perhaps this could have something to do negative thought patterns um, that were used to control you. I feel like pal one, you had people who tried to brainwash you guys with negative thought patterns so that it would be easy to track your movements and to be able to control you. It's like these people wanted to have control over you because they felt out of control with their own lives. But they did a lot of work to make it seem as if they had a lot of control in their life. Yeah, they did a lot of work to make it seem as if they were in control. They possibly could have been able to upkeep societal standards of each decade of what well put together looks like. However, I'm seeing the behind the scenes. They were doing a lot of spell work towards you guys to make you guys seem as if you were the ones who lacked self discipline to be able to provide a living for yourself. So these people could have negatively tried to impact your finances. And I feel as if with that the negative thought, um, positive affirmation that that we read to just to alchemize negative thinking into something positive. I feel as if these people did a lot to negatively impact their finances, so that you would have a very ignorant viewpoint on finances or financial consciousness. I'm picking up on like perhaps people who could have, not actually understood the different levels of financial freedom, and they could have been living above their means and also in debt. So that's one of the aspects of the return to senders. They're experiencing the impact of debt. Now, when you hear those stories about very well moneyed people who quote unquote commit suicide because that's the amount of debt they're in, well, I'm also picking up that these people don't exactly have a good support system. These are people who will encourage them to accrue more debt. You know, um, they will be like, yeah, I feel you should treat yourself. But you know what? And then they put their own agenda in it, very deceitfully and deceptively. So, part of Power One, how are these return to sinners affecting those who started spiritual warfare with you? They don't have discernment of who to trust. So, if they are hanging around people, it's because they're trying to figure out how to not be lonely while being lonely with people. So this is where they're having to break out of codependency. And I know personally, my journey for breaking out of codependency, I felt like um, I was in hell and it felt like hell. So for me to be here, independent at this point, um, I would say, when you're breaking out of codependency, what can help is disciplining yourself with boundaries. Not only have boundaries for other people, but you got to also have boundaries for yourself. That way, you'll be able to recognize if others are not respecting your boundaries. And then you'll be able to gracefully set boundaries with individuals who um, break boundaries as a form of spiritual warfare. So I feel also the people that we're talking about, they could have consciously broke your boundaries, disrespected your boundaries to get a reaction out of you. But this is the level of codependency that they're at. So what I also, so their codependency, they don't exactly know who to trust and how to trust. So, they may be giving off a lot of toxic energy and constantly attracting toxic energy. So that's part of the return to senders. And also financially, they may be not satisfied with the money that they get. So if they continue to be ungrateful, they will not be able to attract finances at all. The overall energy here is forgiveness. So we have I am forgiven. That's standing out to me. So I feel like this whole the whole point of the people receiving these return to senders for you guys, Pile one is for them to forgive themselves. I feel as if you have already forgiven them and wiped your hands clean of them. But I feel like the karmic lesson that they're learning is forgiveness does not require um, reconciliation. And I feel as if they're used to reconciliations, but I feel like this has negatively impacted the quality of their interpersonal connections in which consistent betrayal has taken place. So, possibly you could be dealing with individuals who betray themselves and attract other people who betray themselves. And because the people who are starting spiritual warfare with you, don't trust themselves, and they're attracting people who also don't trust themselves, they could work well together to cause confusion, conflict, and chaos for many. But when they're together, it's like, life or death, because they're trying to figure out how not to appear too vulnerable around each other. So With that forgiveness card, I feel like these return to senders are taking place because they have to learn how to actually trust themselves. They have to learn how to stop self sabotaging for themselves because I feel like these people self sabotage and then they project that onto others. I feel like these are the people who will be like, I know you better than you know yourself. These could be people who you could grow up with them for years, and they'll be like, I saw you when you was starting, and don't let all this success get to your head. But literally, if you're on a path to success, they'll try to use the quantity of time that they've known you to guilt and shame you in order to leech off of you. So these return to sinners are occurring for them because they need to forgive themselves for how they have to take accountability for the quality of the connections that they have attracted. They have attracted very deceitful people because they are deceitful. So, if you can recall how you felt when they were consciously deceiving you, and you were able to handle it with grace, well, they're having to learn to handle being betrayed by other people who will betray themselves as well with grace. They don't actually have the leeway to quote unquote wow out at this point. If they quote unquote wow out while trying to figure out, who's actually in their corner, this won't end up so well for them. So with the garden, it's like each and every time that they want to, externally take their anger out on something or someone that expresses the truth that they're afraid to actually say, they're reminded to look at themselves. So how are these return to senders affecting those who started spiritual warfare with you? They're experiencing a lot of introspection, okay? And with compatibility, they're starting to the introspection that they're experiencing is making them aware that if they're attracting people who they feel so comfortable with to do certain things with, but when it comes down to actually being authentic and vulnerable, they feel as if they'll be taken advantage of. They're having to dig deep to actually see why they're moving this way. And the fact that they have such great examples around them that they can overcome these cycles of self sabotage, well, that's another thing. The return to senders they're getting is showing them if you continue to make up an excuse of why something is happening, no one's going to want to be around you if you keep apologizing about mistreating people because you're not taking the time to understand your role in interpersonal connections. Also, what these people won't tell you is that whatever is within them that they need to make peace with, that's the cause of them constantly hurting good people. There's something within them that they haven't forgiven. It's like they'll hurt good people and want to keep good people around, but they'll just consistently mistreat good people. So the fact is that because they consider forgiveness to include reconciliation, this is a toxic cycle that's repeating. And this is why these return to senders are hitting that ass because they think that if you forgive them, that means automatically reconciliation time. And what happens when they don't break these cycles of betraying good people and mistreating good people, they just keep traumatizing people. So basically, what's taking place now is these people are becoming aware that if they keep apologizing to kind people for fucking up over and over, kind people are going to just not be around them. And because they're aware of the type of quality of people that they're attracting, they're starting to they starting to take time more to themselves because they realize they're not meant to be on this planet by themselves. But at the same time, if they keep putting themselves around people who will betray them like they'll betray others, they fear their own lives. And also they understand that if they apologize to another kind person for basically mistreating them one too many times, they know those people are going to cut ties with them. So they're trying to figure out how to have healthy interpersonal connections while, still being there for themselves at the same time. Now, if you've already been setting this example for them, this will be why they've been watching you, because they've been trying to learn how to follow that very same example. But without further ado, I'll end your reading there, Pal One. I hope that helped you guys. I said it's going to be a short video, and it's not, but that's all right. Welcome, Pal 2. Thank you guys for being present. So before I started your reading, I realized that things change in adaptability. So adaptability came up, because I realized I had planned on starting doing, having a short tarot video, but then I also realized at the same time that tarot is using me as a vessel. So I just realized, okay, I'm gonna trust this process and just go along with it. So this is where intimacy is showing up. I feel like you guys are being asked to trust the process of intimacy that you guys are experiencing. Now, intimacy takes on a lot of different things for many different people, but a lot of it is connected to emotional safety. If you see this beautiful picture, these people have to have developed a foundation of trust. Because if you think about the symbolism of water, it's easy flowing and things like that. So I feel as if you're being asked to trust the process of developing natural trust with someone. Now, natural trust may not be something that you're used to. You could have dealt with a lot of people who put conditions on you, such as "I'll do this for you if you do this for me." um and you could have, I know personally for me, Pal too, when I was with people who it wasn't safe for me to be intimate with, but there was a point in time where I wanted intimacy so bad, and I was at a point of desperation. I would just put up with anything. So I feel as if you're being asked to understand that if you have had any experiences that you're not quite proud of, think about the wisdom that you've learned from it. Because, doing things on two on either side of the scale where it's unbalanced, you learn wisdom from it. That's how you get to that fine middle. So with intimacy, I feel like you guys have been asked to trust the process, that it is safe for you to trust again. So this process will come how as unique as it comes, because water energy is very creative. We also have inner peace. So this is a message for you guys. Very interesting, because this is titled "How Are Return to Senders Affecting Those Who Started Spiritual Warfare with You?" So you remember I mentioned to you guys, with the intimacy here, if you've dealt with connections in which, well, when I told you about my personal experience where I would, out of desperation, put myself into an abusive connection. Some of these people are in abusive connections. Now realize I'm not saying relationship, because this would mean there's been, an open discussion as, hey, look, this is what I can do and this is what you can do. We're not going to expect anything of each other, and we're going to, and you find peace. You create that peace. But when I say an abusive connection, there could be, the the word love being tossed around, because he had the love card here. I feel like if they're in an abusive connection, it keeps redirecting them back to self love, because they just feel unfulfilled. You know, there's a sense of unfulfilledness taking place. They're also experiencing betrayal. The betrayal is so great, it's having them go within. So, this is where this person who started the spiritual warfare with you um, could have been very controlling in nature. But the beautiful thing about overcoming this type of abusive connection is that when you understand that a person who is trying to authoritate you in an intimate romantic connection, then that means they feel powerless and they don't actually feel like they can protect you. So, one of the things this person is experiencing, they're experiencing grave regrets for not being honest with you. This person couldn't protect you. I'm gonna keep it honest with you. We have the chivalry here and inner peace. This person couldn't protect you because they didn't know how to cultivate inner peace, and also because they didn't choose to learn to be chivalrous. They could have been around a lot of people who would have possibly tried to keep them from being chivalrous. You know, um, it's like it, if you notice something psychologically, men, like if they can get a group of easy, good-looking women, they'll have fun with them, and those be the females that they call up when they feel like it. Okay, but when you have men, want to settle down with the woman that just seems like she's not well, she's a whole that's compatible with them. Men who have codependency, they'll try to be like, no, look, that person ain't got your back. So also what I'm picking up with these return with me as describing that with the chivalry, this could be a masculine energy who is learning how you could be connected to a masculine energy who's learning how to cultivate healthy interpersonal connections with the same sex, and they could be just really focusing on developing inner peace. Okay. You also could be experiencing intimacy with someone who also has experienced an abusive relationship as well. Um, and just so you know, if you are presently in a connection where chivalry is present, this person feels you are just right for them with the positive affirmation, I am enough. But the person who started spiritual warfare with you, with the fact that I keep going between you and them, and I'm talking about your personal relationship, I feel as if they try to get access into your romantic life to disrupt your inner peace. Now, with this chivalry here, I don't think they were aware that if, they made it unsafe for you, this would make it so you would not be able to have stability. Now, if they were aware of this, let's just say them return descendants is rocking that ass. They're trying to figure out why they're experiencing so much, so many people prying into their lives. All they want now is inner peace. They're experiencing a lot of privacy invasions. I feel as if these people were magic practitioners, they could have played in your energy. They could have been energy vampires. You could have had most of the good happy um emotions and things of that nature. And they could possibly have been more on the pessimistic side. And you guys could have experienced tumultuous conversations, communication with these people. So part of these how these return senders affecting those who started spiritual warfare with you, they're experiencing difficulty communicating with people. Okay. Um, I'm feeling as if this person, because as I stated logically, I started talking about you guys, and then I started talking about the person, and then I started talking about your romantic life, if it's happening presently, or if it will happen. If it hasn't happened yet, it will happen. I'm picking up on like the energy of someone who really wanted to have you stained so you would not be able to attract a healthy person, because they knew if you went to a healthy person, you wouldn't go back to a toxic person. I'm picking up on someone who they wanted you to experience so much abuse that when they would come back to you, and make it seem as if it just happened. Power to. it would seem as if they were the better choice. However, with the yin and yang here and the love here, the return to senders are affecting this person because they're not able to communicate with you. They're not able to connect to you in any way. And so they're just sitting back wondering, who are you with and how are you with them? But when they start doing that, they get redirected with this yin and yang to become aware of how what their role is in interpersonal connections. So you could also have individuals experiencing a lot of self love moments because they're experiencing the very same betrayals that they caused others. And with the yin and yang, you know how a lot of people think when you get karma, it's like a horror movie? No. When we receive our karma, we always get synchronicities of what to expect based off of how we're moving. So I feel as if this person felt as if their actions wouldn't catch up with them, but they are experiencing grave betrayal. And it's making them want to just spend time alone. Not in a manner where it's like, where it's like, okay, um, I'm not gonna keep up my responsibilities. But it's more so where they're just like, okay, I'm in pain right now emotionally, but I have responsibilities and I have to move forward and do whatever is best for me at this point in time. So I feel like these return to senders are really having them focus on being responsible. I feel as if these people used to be very irresponsible, so much to the point it could have felt like, you were in a parent child dynamic, if this was a romantic relationship. But this person is starting to become very responsible now. Now, this isn't something like, hey, let's get back with them. No, mm-mm. This is saying these return descendants is hitting that ass so bad. They know that if they don't change, it's not going to be pretty for them. So, this is where you guys, pal, too, need to take into consideration how how much have you forgiven them? If you wish for them to suffer, you haven't forgiven them. But if you want them to just, reach their full potential, and part of reaching their full potential is having to mature, it's having to be accountable with that yin and yang energy. This is how potent those return descendants is whooping that ass. Then, if you can forgive them and hope they reach their full potential, this will make it so that you'll be able to, attract a healthy love with the yin and yang energy and love. Because I feel as if perhaps this person who's getting those return to senders, who's negatively trying to find out about your new romantic love life so that they could, trap you in a cycle of ending up with them. I feel as if your lesson that you learn from them is to basically maintain self-care no matter what. And this will also help you attract a partner who will do the same so that you'll be able to experience that yin and yang energy in your interpersonal romantic connections. Now, before I let you guys go, pal, too, I'll tell you guys a secret. Yin and yang in a romantic love relationship and self love, it brings a lot of benefits. Now, if you're aware of some of the benefits and you want to talk about it, great. But if you just you want to just leave a little emoji, that's fine too. Without further ado, have a good day, pal, too, and I hope that served you lovely folks well. Welcome, pal 3. So I feel you guys are learning to trust yourselves. I really feel like you guys are learning to tune out negativity. And I feel like you guys are learning to be able to be just like in your element. Okay. So if this is your energy I'm picking up, and this 3 pound picker card is titled, How are return to senders affecting those who started spiritual warfare with you? Well, we have the inner peace, sexuality, and love. So if you're calm, then they're possibly showcasing anxiety, because I'm picking up, if the spiritual warfare that they sent your way was enough to try to have you have anxiety to the point where you would not feel as if you were a decent enough person. If it's not affecting you, they're probably showcasing the anxiety that they have, not just from what they did to you or other people, but they're more than likely afraid of their vulnerabilities being exploited. So, this is where inner peace is coming in for you guys right now, because this is saying you are enough. So, I feel like these people try to make you feel like you were missing aspects of yourself, and I feel as if because you're basically pushing past that, they're probably not able to get access to you. Psychologically, I picked up on very insecure people only like to really talk to people that they feel they can dominate in a coercive, deceptive way. And perhaps I don't feel that they're able to do that to you. So I feel as if while you're showcasing inner peace, Pal 3, they're showcasing the opposite of inner peace. And while people may not be speaking about it, people are noticing it. So I feel like how these return to senders are affecting those who started spiritual warfare with you. I feel as if it's really making them um focus on developing healthy methods of dealing with their stress, because if you're around someone who has a peaceful vibe, and you're consistently trying to justify why you're disturbing their peace, and then causing confusion, conflict and chaos, while people may not say anything for quite some time, it eventually shows up what's actually going on. So a lot of these people are going to get exposed. They gonna get exposed. No, with sexuality and with love here. It's very beautiful. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, y'all. So, these people been doing sex magic, okay? Now, the reason they was doing sex magic was to trap certain people. So, part of these return to senders is whoever they did sex magic on to trap them with, that person is gonna not want absolutely nothing to do with them. Okay. Um, I feel as if these people did I feel as if they abuse moon magic to do sex magic, okay? And whoever it is that they try to trap, these people are just going to find more reasons to not be around them. So one of the one things that they're how these return to senders are affecting those who started spiritual warfare with you, they're going to experience a lot of loneliness, because the fact that they exploited moon magic to basically trap someone with a child, that means there's already no compatibility. Now, what they haven't told anyone is they had thought that this would develop love, because what they did when the sex magic occurred, when they exploited and abused moon magic, they played the role of a loving person, but they didn't let it naturally happen. So they're going to experience heartbreak, because whoever they did sex magic on, it's just not working anymore. It's just like, we had a good time, but like, yo, that's all we seem to have in common. Now, these people, when I said they're expressing loneliness, they're going to try to have these conversations with them about spirituality. Like, hey, well, what if such and such? But at the end of the day, the fact that love did not develop naturally, it's just not happening. So they're not actually going to be experiencing the love that they are trying to force on people. Or, so basically it's like they gonna part of these return to senders is they're literally watching other people fall in love. And it's like because they tend to attract commitment foes, or they are basically viewed as options. They could have used to been viewed as top options, but now they're not quite that because people want peaceful people around. And something tells me these people try to do a lot to basically make it look like they were peaceful. But their chaotic nature is coming out. That's exactly why I said somebody's gonna get exposed. So you got some messages here. You guys have attracted, or you guys are attracting a loyal partner with commitment and sexuality. This is a person where they won't be able to be easily swayed in third party situations. So I feel as if the people who did who started spiritual warfare with you guys, such a beautiful deck of cards, isn't it? I feel the people who started spiritual warfare with you guys, they're not going to be able to experience the beauty of a monogamous partnership. Now, everybody isn't meant to do monogamy. There's nothing wrong with that. But I feel as if they're not going to be able to experience the fruits of a monogamous relationship. So, one of the reasons that they're going to have to learn to develop inner peace on their own is because instead of them accepting that someone doesn't want to have a committed sexual relationship with them and just them alone, the, the fact that they abuse spell work to trap people, that right there alone is showing desperation. So they're going to be viewed as desperate. It doesn't matter how much money they spend on clothes. It really doesn't matter at this point. This is how the return to sinners is impacting. They're going to be viewed as desperate. Because here's the thing, if they were blessed with a loyal partner, they would just simply cheat. Real shit. So they're going to basically experience what it's like to constantly have to deal with sexual relationships, if they choose to do so, where it's just always, it's not you, it's me. However, it's like, oh, they'll call them up and say, hey, so I know we had a parting, but can I come through? And if they still codependent, they're gonna experience so much heartbreak with this love card and the number 20, where they're basically the betrayals that they experience is really going to have them start to love themselves even more. That's literally the purpose of these return to sinners that they're getting, because these people have been doing spiritual warfare against you. They thought that if they got your partner or person that you're manifesting, all their dreams would come true. These people are being revealed for being quite lazy in nature. Damn. And being, expecting, oh my gosh, I like you. You like me. Let's get together. And it's like these people don't know how to build a stern, stable foundation. They're also gonna be exposed for having a floppy foundation. Real shit. And the details are going to be so immaculate of how messy they are. So these people are messy. These people like to, do binding spells to get exes back. These people like to do spell work to trap new people. These people just consistently just don't respect people's boundaries. So their boundaries ain't gonna be respected. So much to the point that they're going to be so focused on developing inner peace And literally, what they won't tell you is that they want your inner peace. So they thought if they disturbed your inner peace, they would be able to have it and you would be able to take on their attributes: loud, fussy, drama filled. But literally, them trying to disturb your inner peace, it's just going to basically send them right back to developing their own inner peace. Now, with spiritual maturity showing up here, they'll meet the love of their lives, as they accept themselves. What these people like to do, they like to have this idea that, hey, if I like you and you like me, I'm going to tell you who I'm going to be. And we're just going to go with that story. But I'm not going to tell you where I come from and what has contributed to me acting this way now. These people don't really like to be accountable. These people's communication skills can be very limited. So they might be very good at, being very beautiful. But these return to senders is showing up because people are like, they're when they're communicating with people, people are just kind of bored with them or trying to just basically, prevent communication with them because they're like, yeah, you look good and yeah, you talk a good game, but you ain't the only good looking thing out here. What you got to offer other than a nice body and what sounds good right now? Cause I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. If we do this, I'm not calling you. So they're experiencing people that's setting the record straight with them. They're experiencing also coming to grips with the fact of how they react or respond to people emotionally. So it's like they're starting to actually deeply understand that they can't be expecting people to save them from the very same shit that they start. So we're gonna end your reading with this last message. You have chivalry and creativity. I'm picking up on people who do double standards. People who want a gentleman and a freak in the bed, but to basically take advantage of a gentleman who's a freak in the bed, they'll be doing spell work on them. So this is where how these return to senders are affecting those who started spiritual warfare against you. These are people who try to make people stay in their lives forever. Even though they knew there was a expiration date, they didn't want to actually go through the growing pains of maturity. So these are people who, they'll be like, we grew up together. We did this together, so you can't leave me. But let's just say as age show that they're aging fast, you're gonna be able to see how stressed out they are because they're gonna be aging quite quickly. And this is also how come they're gonna be getting exposed as well, because whoever is around them, who they used to annoy and stress out, they're gonna start taking better care of themselves. And the person that calls you spiritual warfare, who stressed out a lot of people gonna be like, yo, you look stressed out. They're not gonna be able to act like they're not stressed out and things of that nature. So these people who will look stressed out, they're going to basically start revealing and spilling the tea. Like, at that time I didn't understand something, but now I'm starting to get it. So let's just say, how are these return to sinners affecting those who started spiritual warfare with you? People that they have stressed out, who want nothing to do with them, they gonna start airing out all their business just to get rid of them. And when the people go back to them and say, were you talking about me? In an intimidation manner, they gonna be like, yeah, I was talking about you. And this is what I said. And let's just say, instead of, constantly bothering and annoying people, Power 3, they definitely gonna appreciate time to just simply get to know themselves better and develop, talents and hobbies. So I feel you're being asked to forgive them and to release them with love. Um, While being a bigger person may be very difficult, it does pay off in the long run. And eventually you will see the evidence of why you being a bigger person with this person, pile three, who child. I feel like you guys had to be the bigger person. In fact, this reading has gone on a bit longer, but I feel like you guys had to be the bigger people with these people. I feel like these people knew you were very mature, so they tried to take advantage of opportunity to create very great difficulties for you. But I feel as if you're gonna be able to see the fruits of your labor, and they're gonna be able to see their bitter fruits, and that's what's going to also help them be able to focus on what they need to focus on. Because if your side of the garden looking good, and it looks like they stuff ain't coming in at all, and with this, if this is consistently happening, let's just say it's not gonna look good when they try to mention you and as if they're associated with you. They're not gonna be clout chasing anymore, because when I say these return to senders is not playing, whatever they did pile three, and I'm picking up a lot of emotional manipulation. They really are going to appreciate truth speakers instead of trying to create up a lie to make themselves sound good. They might even become they might become so honest that you'll be like, I thought that was a lying mother over there. When I say they might become so honest with these return to senders, whatever they sent out, it's hitting that ass so bad. I feel like they're going to learn how to properly earn people's trust without energy manipulation. But without further ado, I'm gonna end your reading because that was a very interesting message. I want to thank Tarot for using me to put out this message. Love, peace, and happiness.